Hey guys, it's me. If you're watching this, that means I did not go live, but I'm still here and I'm going to be talking about NXT this week. There was a lot that happened on this week's show, so I wanted to, even though I, even though I didn't want to go live, I decided, you know what, I'll do something, at least do something. So let's get started with my NXT, and let's start with the opener, which was Dark States versus the Vanity Project for the tag team titles. This is Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor. Now, I didn't expect this to be a squash match, but I also thought that Dark State was gonna win. Little did I know I was wrong. Went about 12 minutes, went a little over 12 minutes. Not bad. It was a good match. Tony D'Angelo decided to make his appearance known. At one point near the end of the match, Jackson Drake, who was the Evolve Men's Champion, was at ringside. He put his, I think it was either Ricky Smokes or Brad Baylor's foot on the bottom rope, which led to the two members of Dark State that were at ringside confronting him, which then drew the referee's attention, which then led to Tony D'Angelo coming out and hitting, I guess, either a choke slam of some sort or a spine buster on the apron. He took, he put, he threw the guy in the ring, and I'm pretty sure it was Saquon Sugars. Put Sugars in the ring. This led to Vanity Project covering him for the win, and we have new NXT Tag Team Champions. Congratulations to these guys. I like these guys. I think they're young, they're arrogant, they're perfect heels. They're perfect heels, and you definitely want to see them get their ass kicked week in and week out. But hey, congratulations, we got new tag team champions. After this, we got backstage with an interview from Miles Bourne, who was being interviewed. I can't remember who it was that was interviewing him. Sarah Schreiber, I think. And he was talking about, basically talking about his NXT championship match against Ethan Page later on tonight in the main event. So it was some good stuff. Then, second match of the night, we got Shawn Legacy versus Keanu Carver. Now, I'm gonna be honest. We had about we had three matches. We had 7 matches on this week's NXT. So, a lot of matches. A lot of matches. Most of them under 5 minutes. The main event, the opener and the main event were the only matches that went over 10 minutes. Makes sense as they were the biggest matches on the card. But we got Shawn Legacy versus Keanu Carver. Obviously, this match came out of the NXT Championship ladder match from a few weeks ago, which Shawn Legacy and Keanu Carver were a part of. Obviously, Shawn Legacy wasn't happy about Keanu Carver putting him through a piece of wall that has become commonplace for people to just go through, if you know what I'm talking about. And so basically, he wanted a match against Conor Carver. He got it. This match lasted about 4 minutes. Didn't expect it to last that long. But still, it was a bit of a squash match. But hey, Keanu Carver gets a win. Good for him. He's being positioned as the new Obafemi, I guess, of NXT. So we'll see how that works out. But hey, congrats to Keanu Carver on a impressive win. After this, we got a recap, sort of the feud between Ricky. Oh no! After this, we got Ricky Saints and Ethan Page backstage. Obviously, Ethan Page was backstage with medical, getting his ankle checked after he got it smashed last week with a steel chair by none other than the guy he was facing tonight, that being Miles Bourne. And this was some good stuff. Hard to believe that Ricky Saints and Ethan Page are now friends, considering they were fighting over the NXT North American Championship at one point. Nice. It's interesting. Interesting how turning heel instantly makes people like you more, especially if you're another heel. We also got Lola Vice. Obviously, Lola Vice was backstage. She wasn't too happy about losing her match last week to Kalani Jordan, so she attacked her backstage in the women's locker room, and then went to Robert Stone, the interim general manager, and demanded an underground match against Kalani Jordan, which he approved of, and it is now set for NXT Vengeance Day, which will be held in early March. Did not even know they were going to be bringing back Vengeance Day because they've usually been doing that pay per view in the month of February. And when we didn't get one, I was like, wait, did they not? Are they not doing Vengeance Day this year? And yes, they are. So it's just a month later than they normally usually do it. I'm okay with that. We got Thea Hale versus Blake Monroe. This is a women's speed match for the opportunity to move on in the women's speed tournament to eventually crown a new number one contender for Fallon Henley's women's speed championship. Nothing really special about this match. Lasted just about 2 minutes. Blake Monroe lost due to interference from Jada Parker, who I'm guessing she's not injured, because if she was, she wouldn't really be on television attacking Blake Monroe and costing her a shot at the speed title, a potential shot at the speed title. So that feud's still going on, and I'm guessing we'll get another match between them. Also, we got the men's speed title defended for the first time in a triple threat match between Jasper Troy versus Elio LaFleur and Eli Knight, both of them relative newcomers to the NXT roster. This match went 7 minutes, and it was a great match. It was a very good match. And for the second time on this episode of NXT, we had a new champion crowned. Ilio LaFleur dethroned Jasper Troy. He pinned Eli Knight. He actually pinned the champion, Jasper Troy, and he is now the new Speed champion. I cannot wait to see how they book his reign, obviously, but then again, there's not much you can book around the Speed titles, so. But hey, congrats to him. It's a title, and congratulations. Also, we got a recap of the North American title feud that's been going on between Ethan Page and Miles Bourne. Obviously, the footage we saw almost immediately was that of from last May when when Miles Bourne was actually able to get a surprise win over Ethan Page. I don't think he was the NXT North American champion at the time, but it was a win over the eventual champion. Obviously, this basically chronicalized Miles Bourne's quest to eventually even just get a shot at the title, which Ethan Page repeatedly refused because Miles Bourne has refused to, in his words, show that killer instinct. But he showed it last week, and it paid off because he now has a title shot. Next, we got JC Jane versus Soruka. This match was for the women's title, and yeah, as expected, Zarya turned on Soruka before the match, by the way. But she turned on her. A spear, and then an F5, followed by a rolling encore elbow by JC Jane to in. So we'll go 1, 2, 3 in only 6 seconds. Nothing to talk about here. Move on. We got Ricky Saints, then the Vanity Project, and Ethan Page all backstage. Obviously, we got a Joe Hendry Chronicle, which was, I guess, basically a look at Joe Hendry's career from his early days going to TNA, and then his debut in WWE, and finally coming to WWE officially as an official superstar. After this, we got Ricky Saints, obviously backstage with the Vanity Project and Ethan Page. Ricky Saints is getting ready to practice because apparently he's got something called the Ricky Saints Absolute Experience that he's going to be debuting next week on NXT. I can't not wait to I can't wait to see what this is because this is either going to be great or just flat out terrible. Obviously, we got Robert Stone stage when it comes talking about next week's SmackDown, next week's NXT. He's got a 6-man tag booked. Shiloh Hill and Hank and Tank versus Vanity Project. And I can't remember what else he said he had planned. Oh, great. But hey, next week should be good. And obviously, we got the main events Miles Bourne versus Ethan Page for the NXT North American Championship. Lasted around 13 minutes. It was a great match. It was a really good match. And for the third time on this show, we got a new champion. Ethan Page, Miles Bourne is now the new NXT North American champion. Congratulations to him. He totally deserves it. And yep, that's about it for me. I will see you guys later. And until next time, yeah, that is about it. Nothing else really happened on the show. Obviously, the squash matches weren't really necessary. Were they really necessary? But 7 matches was a lot for an NXT. But hey, this was a good show. I will not complain. If I was to, if I had to rate this show, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. That's about how I've been rating these shows as of late. Even the ones that aren't terrible, aren't good, I'll still give them like a 6.5 out of 10. But that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. And until next week, and until next time, peace out, y'all. And